good. Okay, very good.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Hard Factor presented by Hard Factor. It is Thursday, January 28th, 2021, episode number 613. Had to write that down or I would have read the wrong date. Almost did. The Senate impeachment trial rages on despite everybody knowing it has no chance to pass. The new press secretary at the White House is going to have to circle back with everybody about everything. Meanwhile, the Hard Factor hosts have all downloaded the Robinhood app and are talking to Large from Barstool about the stonk bonanza this week. In the back half of this show, we got a full house today. I'm Will. We got Pat, Mark, and Wes. Boys, you ready for this? 4 stories, then Large.
Get into the news.
All right, let's do it. Hopping straight in. First, I'm up with something going on in California, guys. Call me Papa Will because I'm California dreaming on such a winter's day over here on the border of the Golden State. Seriously, it's snowing in Tahoe. It's just incredible right now. I'm wearing a West Wind Farms sweatshirt. Shout out dairy farmer Adam, Bakersfield, California. But the snow is not the only thing that's falling out in Cali right now. Confidence in the California Governor Gavin Newsome is also taking a fall with many in the state. It's gotten so bad that Newsome is facing a potential call for his removal from office that's actually getting a pretty good amount of momentum. The recall petition is on pace to have the required amount of signatures, which is 12% of voters. I'm predicted at 61% that they will get that 12% of voters to force a vote on Newsome's removal from office by March 17th. We'll know if they've collected that amount of signatures for sure by April 29th once the counties have verified all of them.
How often does this happen?
In California, actually pretty frequently.
Really?
Jerry Brown was removed from office. I don't know, if you guys remember him.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
fickle
of
over
course,
there.
Jerry Brown, yeah.
Should be a bet on how much he looks like Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, because he really he needs to check in on that bio photo. It is fucking dude. You know how you can tell how clean when you can tell how clean someone is from their photo. It's bad news.
He looks like he's just stepped out of the shower at all times.
It looks like he just has the suit jacket on and he's masturbating below the picture.
You can tell
he's got
that
no pants.
Yeah, you can tell the sex is going to be abusive.
Yeah.
How expensive?
Clorox.
Yeah, he's got bleach. He's got a lot of bleach. How expensive? How much do you think he goes through in hair product a year? Because that hair is coiffed
A lot.
straight back. Yeah,
I'd be more worried about like plastic tarps, man, than
Right.
yeah,
Trunks,
chainsaws.
new interiors of trunks.
Yeah, so like we're just going over, guys. 61% chance as
and
of now.
dog bowls that he makes his partners drink out of. Probably this guy looks like a fucking psycho.
Leashes. Yeah. So like we're saying, 61% chance as of now. We'll know for sure by April 29th. If there is a recall, tech investor and wet the beak enthusiast Chamath Palihapita, I think I fucked that up, is coming. He's not saying he's gonna run, but he also has his platform for being governor pinned to his Twitter profile, and it's pretty interesting, right? 0% state tax, which is a huge decrease from what they have in California. So right now, 70,000 teacher salary minimum, global, so climate and tech jobs, a focus on creating those, free choice of schools for students wherever they want to go, no student loans, so student loan forgiveness in the state, and $2,000 for birthing a child in the Golden State.
This is the free pizza and no school on Friday approach.
Yeah, which always works, Wes.
Yeah.
You know,
It's Yang. It's Yang style.
You know, Newsome's gonna fucking kill someone when he sees this guy's bio because it's so good. Yeah,
Don't pull Yang into that dirty hole that guy's in. This is
a nonpartisan run. It's obviously like because Newsom's a Democrat and this guy that's not really a Republican
he's hot
platform.
in the streets right now. He's like a hero of like the Robin Hood traders and stuff like
Robin
that.
Hood traders,
But Wes is onto something because this is like he should put on there, and you can have sex with anyone that you want to. But what he's not thinking about is the person that they want to have sex with has to consent, and that's just never gonna fucking happen. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, prima nocta. He could try to put it on there, but he's not sure. I'm not sure if that would work out.
He's hot in the streets right now. That guy.
He is.
It looks good.
If the recall were to go through, which it seems unlikely that they would also vote over 50% to remove him. Because, like, you can get the petitions, which only requires 12% of voters. Then you'd have to vote, and over 50% would have to vote to remove. And that would be the recall of the governor completely. Newsom
Did that happen to our friend Jerry Brown?
It did happen to Jerry Brown. But if it happened to Newsom, he'd be leaving office about 3/4 of the way through the first of 2 potential terms as governor. Shout out to the Hard Factor Discord chat on this topic. They're all over this. Right now, we already covered that. The odds are 61% that it does happen. But you don't know if it will, so we'll see. We'll stay tuned. One thing you do know that is certain, however, is the new app Stereo is pretty fucking sweet. It's like a radio show on like crossed with social media. It's a 2 hosts at a time. We get together. We just talk news. We bullshit. Talk about what's going on that day. We take questions from the chat, which is one of the coolest features they have. Like, so you need to download the Stereo app. You need to follow all of us, the hosts. And then when we're on air, you can leave voicemails and stuff, which we can then play back in the show. It's super fun. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think it's the future of like live radio on the internet.
How fun was that today or yesterday, Pat? How fun was that?
We had such a good time. Honestly, it. I will be honest. Stereo's paying for this ad. Glad they are, because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was listening to you guys. It was Pat and Mark on Wednesday. We're going to be on the Stereo app. This is why you need to download it. It's free, and we're going to be on there every Wednesday and Friday for the next 10 weeks. All right, that's 20 extra Hard Factor shows. It's 2 hosts at a time because that's the way it works, but it's fun as fuck. The other hosts are going to be in the chat leaving voicemails. We're going to be mixing it up. Anybody can leave us a voicemail. We play it back. It's really, really
Mark
interactive.
And I
very
revealed fun. 2 diseases that we both have in common that you'll have to listen to the Stereo show.
Yeah, we won't say that, but also Pat talked about him competing with an 11-year-old in sports. That was fun. Also, his move.
Great time was had by all. Great time.
Excellent time. Again, look, we're going to be on there every Wednesday and Friday. It's a free app. Download it at stereo.com/HardFactorWill, HardFactorWes, HardFactorMark, or Pat Cassidy. Okay. Follow us on the app, all 4 of us, and get notified when we go live. Again, Wednesdays and Fridays, 2 hosts at a time.
Push us to number 1 on the charts. We're in the 70s right now, which is pretty good. Push us up.
We're competing with Jeff Ross and Adam Carolla. There's other great comedians on there.
Push us up.
Stereo.com/HardFactorWill, HardFactorWes, HardFactorMark, and Pat Cassidy. Follow all of us. Download the app. Get in on the action. It's totally free and very fun.
All right, guys. Speaking of politicians whose removal is being called for, let's get an update on the walking, talking, legislating consequences of idiots who think varieties of pizza are code words for different types of children being sex trafficked and then sacrificed by the Democratic cabal. Of course, I'm talking about. I can't prove they're not. Yeah, you're. Damn it. All right, it's a good point. I should.
Pizzagate.
Damn it. Talking about Pizzagate, but I'm talking about Freshman House Representatives member from Georgia's 14th district, Marjorie Taylor Greene. This lady's a fucking psycho. You guys been following this lady?
Party girl.
She's been saying and doing some crazy shit. And
she's the censored mask lady. She's I'm sure she was all about the Stop the Steal rally.
Oh, she was about it.
I know what you're about to get into. I've been reading a little bit about it, yes.
So some big stuff. Okay. So essentially the attack on this psycho lady is in full-on dirt digging mode, and a lot of information about her questionable past as a full-blown QAnon boomer are coming to light. Let's take you guys through it. In January 2019, Greene liked a comment that said, quote, "A bullet to the head would be quicker to remove House Speaker Nancy Pelosi." She also did a live.
True. Probably true.
Come on. Twitter likes it. I mean, that's a joke, I'm sure, right? Like,
well, it gets a little deeper.
Well, then she showed the actual gun in a video. Well, she polished it. And,
video of her polishing
this bullet. She showed the actual bullet.
I almost didn't put that one in there, right? But then it gives context for the rest of it. So it goes on. Okay, so someone wrote, we should put a bullet in Nancy Pelosi's head. Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, she also for some reason was inside of Nancy Pelosi's office back in February 2019 during a live stream, and she said, quote, "Through removal or death doesn't matter as long as Pelosi goes."
Okay, that's strong.
Yeah, that's out there. That's
she's
her
old.
word.
Is that what she's gonna? I guess that's what she would say. That's what she would be like.
Devil's advocate.
Like, it's old age. I'm saying old age.
That's why I like you, Will. I'm down for your journalistic.
She has to get hit by a bus that I'm driving. So be it.
Then call me a bus driver.
Yeah.
Sign me up for the union. That has to make lunch in the Capitol cafeteria awkward, right?
Oh,
Just
Pelosi avoids this lady.
big time.
Yeah.
Anyway, it goes on. So Greene got pretty specific while commenting on a Facebook post where a user suggested that Obama and Hillary should be hanged, saying, quote, "Stage is being set. Players are being put in place. We must be patient. This must be done perfectly, or liberal judges would let them off." And that was on. We should hang them. So that's interesting. Anyway, guys, this in addition to liking comments about executing FBI agents who were part of the deep state, or so she thought. So her lawmaker homies are not happy with her on both sides of the aisle. And before you guys make any judgments, don't worry. She tweeted on January 7th that she fully condemns all violence. So there's that. She also said that whoever stoked insurrection and spread conspiracy theories have blood on their hands and they must be expelled. So she's towing that line.
Okay.
Why didn't she clean up her like 2018 and 19 posts?
Oh, it gets so much worse, Mark. It gets just worse and worse. She also defended her Facebook activity, saying lots of people have managed my Facebook accounts. So maybe it wasn't me.
Split personalities.
Exactly.
Sure.
The Conway defense.
Mhm.
Yes.
So there's that. Okay. But it does not end there. Yesterday, a video resurfaced of her walking after Parkland school shooting survivor David Hogg and accosting him about gun rights and then calling him a coward for not debating her. And it may have been that he didn't want to debate her because she's called his mass shooting and others, specifically the Las Vegas mass shooting, a false flag operation that was being paid for by George Soros. Anyway, let me play a little bit of this clip of her talking about it to give you some context.
I've got a question for you. How do you get avid gun owners and people that support the Second Amendment to give up their guns and go along with anti-gun legislation? How do you do that? Maybe you accomplish that by performing a mass shooting into a crowd that is very likely to be conservative, very likely to vote Republican, very likely to be Trump supporters, very likely to be pro-Second Amendment, and very likely to own guns.
So she was talking specifically about the Las Vegas shooting there.
I don't know. This lady makes a lot of sense, Pat.
Did you know anything about the Las Vegas shooter? The guy was a psycho. Like,
She went on
read
to
up
say that he was not a lone wolf. She doesn't believe it. And
The guy was nuts. He almost did
And
it in
they-
Reno. He had different places.
And
he was
they've been
playing
making
at.
him buy hundreds and hundreds of guns for the last decade.
His house was just empty, full of like
Yeah.
C4
Guns.
and
Yeah.
ARs. Yeah, it's
Right.
like
She's like the like that's like the starter kit kind of QAnon like shit that people say. You know what I mean? Like she's not even that deep.
You
She's
think
just
that's
like
light?
Yeah,
That's
she's not even
light.
that. Yeah, she's not even that good at it. Yeah,
she's not even
just-
that good at it. That's like
Right.
surface level shit.
I did watch like a 40-minute video of her like talking about who Q was and explaining it. But no, she's out there saying that someone the George Soroses of the world paid for the mass shooting to happen to take the gun rights.
George Soros made that guy crazy. He's great at making people crazy.
Right.
Because he did the trick on that one.
He's a
that's for
sick
sure.
bastard if he's paying for those mass shootings. But
Caravans, everything.
it does get one step deeper beyond the my first QAnon starter kit because most importantly, guys, Greene is a promoter of Frazzle Drip. Do you guys know Frazzle Drip?
No.
Sounds
No.
something that you may or may not be really into.
Yeah, sounds like a Jim Henson show on HBO in the late 80s, if you ask me. But essentially, guys, what it is, it's a claim that Hillary Clinton and former aide Huma Abedin sexually assaulted a child and then filleted that child's face and then wore a face-like mask and to taunt the child.
Drip.
To taunt the child later, and then drank her blood as part of a satanic ritual to ingest something called
So what does that have to do with Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Ardenochon. So, okay, Bubba, let's take it to the internet. Now, Bubba, you put this up for the boys. Essentially, someone posted, this is the mother of an NYPD officer who watched a horrific video seized on Anthony Weiner's laptop of Huma and Hillary filleting a child's face.
Oh, wow.
This was another Hillary hit.
Jesus.
And Marjorie Taylor Greene comments, yes, familia. And then she went on to say, I post things sometimes to see who knows things. Most of the time, people don't. I'm glad to see your comment. I've decided it's just time to start doing a lot more videos and engage further in the fight. Most people don't know how much the MSN disinformation
Oh,
was.
so she believes that this is a true video.
She believes,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, and
Laptop.
the video doesn't exist.
She's
How do you
digging
know it's
for
right?
Frazzle Drip.
Yeah, of course it doesn't.
So there you go. She's in Congress.
Yeah, she's in Congress.
Wow.
We'll
Pelosi
have
must
her-
just
we'll have more
spray her
information.
with disinfectant when she sees her.
As long as they
macing her, like
Yeah. Yeah.
that'd be hilarious if they got in like an actual fight.
Jeez, I mean, yeah, it's intense stuff. All right, let's move on to a little more light stuff. It's time to answer the question that I know we've all been thinking about, keeping us up at night, and that is: do men really take longer to take a shit than women?
Oh,
I know it's
The answer
very
is
important.
yes. You say, I say no.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're gonna find out.
What,
Luckily
Pat,
for
what
us,
do we guess before Wes says it. Guess before Wes says
Unpressured shit. So like
Just
everyone's
at
out of the house.
at random shit.
No, everyone's taking the same amount of time. If enough shits are taken.
Pat says
and
no
coins are flipped.
statistical thing. I say
I
just
think
not longer.
it's just more. I'm
Yeah.
not saying the velocity's slower. I'm just saying.
Do you guys
There's
remember in,
more.
in City Slickers 2 when Jack Palance tells Billy Crystal that he shits bigger than him? That's just one of
Yes.
the best insults of all time.
That's what I'm saying.
Just look at a man in the eye and say,
That's
I
what,
shit
that's
bigger
what, that's
than
what I
you.
tell my wife. I
Take
shit
shit's
bigger than you. Shit.
Yeah. That's a classic insult.
well, guys, lucky for us, the good people at the Filipino newspaper Business World did an extensive study. So let's dive in. First, we are talking total time on the toilet here, not just the time to take the actual shit, which on average is between 51 seconds when squatting and 2 minutes when sitting. So if we're talking actual shitting, it's a dead heat, no winners. You do not want to race anyone from the rainforest
nailed
in a shitting contest, but
Squatting versus sitting? What do you what is that?
Because you don't have back support, so it hurts. So you just get it out quicker.
Yeah, is
Yeah.
that at a dirty
It's-
toilet or like
it's
is that
like
that's a Philippine element in a hole?
it's like it's like if
Like a
you're
wall sit.
squatting in the fucking forest, you're gonna shit quicker than like a American toilet.
makes sense, though.
And like that's why Squatty Potty
Gravity.
is out because it helps you shit. Bubba's got the picture of Squatty Potty. If you don't have one, Bubba, I believe you love your Squatty Potty. Is that correct?
Is this
I do. I really
No,
do.
but what does it?
And
what
my
does it do?
girlfriend is who fuck, but
What does
I
it
already
do?
said it, but it adjusts
For your girlfriend
body.
shits?
Well, I didn't know until she bought the Squatty Potty, but it adjusts your body to the perfect position where
That's right.
your colon and your bowel are perfectly lined up. Then everything just whoop.
It's
Yeah.
like
I have
funneling
family
a
member-
beer. It's like
Yeah,
funneling a
that's
beer. It's like
Exactly,
a
it's
Oh,
a freedom
shit.
funnel.
It's like a
Freedom
shit
funnel.
You got to
funnel.
find
Yeah.
the perfect
Yeah.
angle.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll take like books and stack them up just to make a
Mhm.
makeshift
To
Squatty
get your
Potty.
fit. Oh, really?
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
when you
Yeah,
don't
instead
have
of
access.
McGruber, I call myself McPooper.
McPooper.
There you go. Bubba loves it.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah,
See,
cut some
that's how
time.
young he is. He made a reference to the spoof. He couldn't do MacGyver, but
No,
whatever.
MacGruber's such an underrated film, though.
I know,
watch
but
it this
it's-
weekend.
yeah.
MacGruber's better than MacGyver.
Yeah.
Kids
MacGyver.
these days.
So anyway, we're at dead heat, talking just toilets. But only one study from that article, the article cited, said that on average, men spend 14 minutes on the toilet while women spend just 8 minutes on the toilet. We're talking
Whoa,
sit
so
down
Mark
to
was
leave.
right. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, because you know why? You know fucking why? Like
Bigger
a
shits?
man, that's his throne. He brings in a magazine.
No,
He-
some of these
he
guys are
annou-
jacking off.
Some guys are jacking off.
Some of these guys are jacking off.
Men announce they're gonna go poop. Women, a little embarrassed. It's harder in society for women to go poop, so they're like in and out. They don't
They
want to
make it look
big
like a
scene.
pee. They want to make it
wanna
look like a pee.
Oh, that was
guys,
so
guys
long.
are like, I'll see you in a fucking hour.
Mhm.
I'm a fast shitter. I'm not one of these relaxed shitters.
I'm
hey,
on the can
hey,
all
Bubba.
day.
Bubba, can you come back in real quick? I got a question for you about the Squatty Potty. Do you think it'll help me reduce the rings I'm cracking on my toilet seats
Yeah,
here?
definitely, because it displaces the pressure that you're putting down because you're
Right.
putting a lot more pressure on your legs.
I think it work opposite. It's going to be more concentrated pressure
He's
because his
going-
legs
he's
won't
going
move.
straight through
'cause
that
your
Squatty
legs
Potty.
are balanced, so you're kind of like you're almost you're not standing, but you're kind of like it's
Yeah.
almost like a wall sit.
Yeah.
where you're,
Okay,
like, using
so I'll
that
engage my
pressure
core
there.
more.
Yeah,
I'll engage
you're
my
using
core.
that pressure there.
And that'll help. I hate to admit it, but I've gone on another ring snapping tirade in my house.
Yeah, guys,
so I'm
and
gonna
for
have
any
to-
new and now probably former listeners, Will's talking about his toilet seats, not his spokes. He's talking about his not his
Breaks
ring,
the toilet seats.
but
Yeah,
the
breaks
seats.
toilet
Yeah.
seats, yeah.
We're not talking about your O-ring.
Right.
He falls down and then he's covered in shit, surrounded by broken
move on.
porcelain.
No. It's all clean. It's
All
just
right.
it's just I apply a lot of pressure.
I got some more facts for you guys. So,
Okay.
what's the difference? Well, the research found that men just have a greater thirst for knowledge than women, especially on the toilet. So they read. of 500 men surveyed in Israel, it was found, or 500 people, it was found that 41% of women were toilet readers compared to 64% of men who said they were toilet readers and didn't want to admit they were just looking at porn and smut in the bathroom.
Reading the titles of the porns.
Right. Another study found that
Also masturbating to completion.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Another study found that 56% of people find sitting on the toilet relaxing, 39% a good opportunity to get away from all the bullshit for a minute, and 1 in 6 people will just go to the toilet even when they don't need to for some peace and fucking quiet. It's also said that people who have ass problems like hemorrhoids will take longer to use the restroom. And in conclusion, men look at smut in the bathroom and women don't.
Yep.
That's a study. So,
but there's a method, baby.
Yeah, there's a method. Doctors advise everyone to drink more water, eat more fiber, and use the SEN method, which is 6-minute toilet sitting time maximum, enough fiber, and no strain during defecation.
Wow. Okay. Well, I don't do any of that.
I gotta get to my ad. That segment was sponsored by BlueChew. Guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go, like go. Now you can increase your performance and get the extra.
We're not talking about a squatty potty either.
No, we're talking about go. We're talking about going.
Business time.
Yeah, listen up. BlueChew.com. That's blue, like the color blue. BlueChew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach, which is perfect for us. So you can be ready whenever an opportunity arises. If you could benefit from more confidence where it counts, and by where, I mean in the bedroom and wherever you choose to go. BlueChew is prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you don't have to go to the doctor's office or wait in the line at pharmacy, and ships right to your door in a discreet package. They're made in the USA, and since BlueChew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. No awkwardness. You don't have to leave the house. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our special promo code HARDFACTOR, all one word. Pay just $5 shipping. Again, that's BLUEChew.com, promo code HARDFACTOR to try it for free. BlueChew is the better, cheaper choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast. And remember, guys, when you support our sponsors, you make this podcast possible. So please be sure to use our promo code HARDFACTOR at BlueChew.com. And you won't regret it.
Ooh.
Absolutely. I'll get through this last one quick because I know we got a nice long interview with Large, but great story selection today, Wes.
Thank you.
Pooping and boners. I love it. Good stuff. Do you guys know where Stinnett, Texas is?
No.
Go ahead and throw up the map there, Bubba. It's in middle of fucking nowhere. Northwest Texas.
They call that the Panhandle?
Oh, yeah. That's up there by Canada, Texas.
Yeah. Way up there. It's a small town, population well less than 2,000 people. And in that small town, the police chief and minister, Jason Collier, is king. Throw his pick up there, Bubba. The king of Stinnett. That's what they call him. That's what they call him.
He's got a cocky look on his face. That's for sure.
Well, he's the king.
That's like the man who gets what he wants.
They don't call him that anymore, though. Now they're calling for his head after not one but 2 women claim he was cheating on his wife with them and having a torrid affair. The king of Stinnett can't keep it in his pants, apparently. This all unraveled for the idiot when a woman named Cecily, who thought he was only having an affair with her after he also showed her fake annulment papers with his wife, found out that Collier was having an affair with another woman from a friend, so she decided to out Collier on Facebook. I think we have to.
This is exactly what happened to the kissing machine.
Yeah. Yeah, she posted a picture. She posted a picture with her and
it's
Collier.
Cal Cunningham. Yeah.
Yeah, and initially people were like, "Oh, what a beautiful couple! Like you guys look so cute, and we're so happy for you." But she quickly revealed that she wasn't posting it to say she's happy. She was posting it to say this scumbag has been having an affair with me and he's married. Then Cecily went on.
Women, yeah.
Yeah, and then
listen to what a ballsy this motherfucker is. The population of Stinnett is 1,400 people. Yep. Like he thought he was gonna get away with this shit in a town.
He was having sex with half of the women his age in the town.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I guess what happened was he posted a picture of him at like his becoming chief ceremony, and he was like hugging a woman that wasn't his wife, and then someone's like, he looks awfully close to this woman. They looked into it, she was having an affair. Cecily blasted him on Facebook and then added the woman he was having an affair with besides her, and then both of them just started talking shit about this guy in her post that got 500 comments, and it was pretty incredible. They started talking about all the weekends they spent with him and how he was lying about being with her, and then why he wasn't with her because he was with the other girl, and they just outed this dude.
The force knows knows about it. Ooh.
And then
Did the wife come in at all, or was it just the two lovers?
The wife and the 4 children.
He's an
did not
ordained
come
minister.
He's also an ordained minister. They started posting videos of him like apologizing to them, like crying and being like, "I'm sorry, I wasn't honest
Please
with
don't
you.
post this.
Please don't leave me." And anyways, yeah, it was just ended up being pretty incredible. Also, in the 500 comments, both women admitted that they were like engaged to him, like that he proposed to them, and that they thought they were his fiance, even though he was married the whole time. Yeah,
I'm not, and I don't mean to stereotype here, but there's no way in hell this guy, any police chief in a small Texas town, knows Photoshop. So he's asking someone to forge those papers for him.
Not only that, Pat, but he also had someone apparently forge his bio in him becoming chief in the Stinnett town bio to remove the fact that he was married with 4 kids, so that when his his mistresses checked out his new bio, they wouldn't see that he was married. Yeah,
pro move from that guy.
I got a couple edits,
and then he removed it. He
also like you to make on the town website.
Yep. Collier has been placed on administrative leave while being put under investigation. The city of Stinnett put out a press release saying so, as they probably are not happy with this dude. The small town that gets attention for police chief stooping everyone behind a wife's back is not what they're looking for.
Stinnett back. Yeah,
that's not what they're looking. They're probably looking for like a town with oldest tree.
Right. Yeah. Stinnett's not feeling these headlines.
There are more bodies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's definitely he is like the kissing machine. Speaking of the kissing machine, let's bring in Large for talk about stocks here.
Welcome back to Hard Factor, host of the Twisted History podcast, the Podfathers podcast, Barstool Breakfast on Sirius XM, and probably a bunch of other shows that I'm missing, leaving out. Large, how you doing, pal?
Good, man. How you guys doing? I miss you.
Yeah,
I miss you too, buddy.
It's been too long.
We're glad you're doing better from COVID, my man.
Oh yeah, almost died.
Really? No. You didn't really.
I'm asthmatic. I'm a little older, and I'm obese, and so I have the CPAP, almost like a mini respirator, and we have all these different, not ventilators, but nebulizers and shit for the kids. The machines and the albuterol charges.
My son had to do that shit when he was
asthma, yeah.
So we were doing that stuff, but when it got to the point where I was having a really tough time breathing at night, there was that line that was being crossed. I know you guys all probably had this, but like a slight panic attack,
right,
also resembles a asthma heart respiratory attack. And I'm telling you, man, I was thinking widows and orphans as far as the family was concerned.
No.
It was I'm really pissed off because like White Sox Dave's like, yeah, I had the sniffles for a couple of days.
What an asshole. I've been bullish on the coronavirus for over a year, and I'm mostly glad you survived because now I'm not scared of the coronavirus.
Right. Yeah. Now I feel invincible, making out with hookers.
Large can survive it. Yeah.
Are you saying that if you didn't participate in our weight loss competition, you would have died?
I would have been a goner for sure.
You're welcome. Saved Large's life. Holy crap!
You're welcome.
Holy shit!
That was a roundabout thank you too. I appreciate that, B.
Well, he's gonna pay us back by telling us how to make millions of dollars on this stock pump and dump, right?
Yeah. I had one of the kids in the office today. A guy I like. He's like, Large, I have $2,000. Can I give it to you? And then you make a bunch of money, and then you give me back whatever you make. I said, I don't do that, right? I've never been an investment advisor. We've spoke about this before. And I've been a block trader. That's what I do. I used to trade blocks of stock that I didn't want, Chinese them against other positions, all that kind of shit. I said to him, 2,000. He's like, yeah. I was like, how much debt you have? He's like, I owe about $4,000 in cards. So I was like, the best thing I can tell you is pay down your fucking debt. Like, get to zero on your debt, and then you can start thinking about investing. But now all these kids who want to buy fucking 3 shares of AMC. Right.
Well, let's get into it. So
yeah.
So what happened over the last couple of days? We all saw the GameStop thing happen. AMC happened yesterday. It was the Reddit subreddit, the stock subreddit. Essentially.
Reddit investors, Wall Street Bets.
Wall Street Bets. So the most recent story is that Wall Street Bets, which has like 2 million subscribers,
3 now.
3, but actually it shut down. So they shut it down. They went to subscriber only, like new subscriber only. So they shut out the old ones. And then right away, everyone had said the government's coming for them, but it might have been a server issue. Like this is the wound is fresh with us. So we don't know all the details just yet. But when they opened up Wall Street Bets new, That's the new hashtag.
Yeah.
Whoa. It was purely sharpen the pitchforks, boys. We're going in, and so tomorrow, so Thursday, all intents and purposes of trying to drive these stocks up again, because as soon as there was any problem with the website, think about that. Like, your only lifeline to your brothers is through this website, these 3 million other guys that are on your side.
All
if that gets cut,
together, right? Yeah.
then you don't know what's our next plan. It's like cutting off your telephone lines from the front. And so the guys on the front just started selling. So automatically GameStop came in $100. Came in $100 in like 3 minutes.
Give an overview beforehand to layman's it up a little bit. So from what I understand, this subreddit, right, essentially figured out that this guy Andrew Left of Citron Research had been shorting GameStop, and I guess they're figuring out
everyone 138% of
it was a big strategy for
everyone was shorting GameStop. Right.
Yeah.
So essentially,
Citron wasn't the problem, right? So Citron is a secondary, maybe tertiary research shop, and what they tend to do is they try to make splashes sometimes with putting out stuff that they know is going to get some sort of reaction. They're a subscription based service too. So when I was trading and someone said, "Oh, there's a note out in Citron in one of the stocks you trade," I'd be like, "Oh, can you get it for me?" And I mean, I can get any note. When I was working at a bulge bracket firm, if anybody put out a note about it, I traded utilities for a while. I think I'd mentioned this here before. So anything that produced or distributed power, that was my milieu. So if somebody put out something in Duke Power, Morgan put out a note, I'd get Morgan's note. If somebody secondary put out a note, I'd get their note. Citron, it was like, I can't get it. Or I wind up getting like a fax copy of it.
Is
a note, like, so the note would be like a research note saying that something's broken in Duke Power. The raw materials that they're getting to burn fossil fuels to create electrical power, it's costing them too much, so they're upside down on the pricing or something like that. Whatever they were doing, it's essentially like a research note. Like, we here at Citron think that, and now I'm going to use the real thing. Citron put out a note saying that the company GameStop is not worth the price that it was trading at. GameStop at the time was maybe trading around $40, and Citron said, "Hey, this is a dead industry. A dead industry. GameStop sells games that can now be bought directly downloaded, and consoles that can be bought online or bought at fucking Target or anything like that. They have no exclusivity.
It's like Blockbuster. It's like brick and mortar. Like, yeah, the business model.
And they exist almost solely inside strip malls and malls, which haven't been doing that well, right? So it's a dead industry. This thing is Radio Shack Part 2. Right? Like, remember Radio Shacks? Everyone's like, how the fuck is this thing open? But in the interim, GameStop did hire somebody from Chewy. You know, Chewy, the
Ryan
service
Cohen,
for
right. A ringer.
I used
right. So they brought it. Yeah, they brought in a ringer exactly as part of the management team and stuff. So GameStop is trying to make a go out of it. And there's a rumor that GameStop was going to try to be the Netflix of gaming. Like, that was their their buzz to it.
Rental base, yeah. Okay,
so listen, it's a piece of shit stock. So this is something that we're going to all just would take that without a grain of salt. GameStop, if you count up all the fucking staplers, all the rubber bands, everything that they have, all the parking passes, and you divide it by the amount of shareholders that they have, that is a $40 stock. And with the Chewy guy, maybe it's a $70 stock. I don't fucking know. I don't know what premium you put on that. It's trading at 300, right? So it's insane. But one of the things is, and Beav, this is the problem. It wasn't Citron that these guys were necessarily coming after. I can find out what the short interest in any stock is if I have a Bloomberg terminal. And then once that's it. Yeah. So the short interest in a stock, for everyone who doesn't know, is how many people are short the stock. You can be long the stock, meaning you think the stock's going to go up. You buy it and you think it's going to go up. Or you can be short the stock, meaning you don't own it, but you're so desperate to sell it because you know you're going to be able to sell it high. Then you just do the buy low part that you essentially borrow the name. You get a borrow in the name. So you're notionally short, you notionally had sold it. And at some point you promise to buy it back. Short sellers need stocks to go down. Long positions need stocks to go up. So there's so many people who are short. 132% of the float had been borrowed out. That blows my mind too.
Caught with their pants down a little bit.
More than shares existed.
More than shares existed now are on the short side. That's for everyone to see, including some bigger names like a company called Melvin. Did you guys hear that name be thrown out?
Melvin, it's a hedge fund.
Didn't they have to get bailed out? Yeah.
Melvin is a hedge fund. I used to do a ton of business with Melvin. So they had a couple of bad positions and they were getting fucking taken right in the shorts, right in the pants, not in the shorts. And so they actually were being bailed out by two people, but one of them was 0.72, which is Stevie Cohn's Sachs. When Sachs got in trouble, they had to go to a family office. So it's called 0.72. So Stevie Cohn from the Mets is bailing out part of the people who are giving $3 billion to Melvin.
Ooh, he just got hosed.
To bail him out. And now Melvin is caught with a giant short position.
Yeah.
And then these guys are saying, and Beef, this is where the anger comes up. These motherfuckers are all short because a lot of the retail investors don't short stocks. And the reason a retail investor like Dave Portnoy, all stocks go up, don't short stocks is because if you buy a stock at $10, right? Do you know how much money you can lose on that stock? $10. You can lose $10. That's it. The stock can go to zero.
Mm-hmm.
If you sell short a stock at $10, you know how much money you can lose?
90.
Infinite. That stock could go up to a fucking million. You don't know, right? So it's unlimited. You have to buy it back at some point. So if if
call you to do that, right? There's like
after a while, there's margin calls where they will no longer keep those losses. Now that
you gotta fucking buy it. Yeah.
Right. So now you have to buy it back.
And this is where the everyman came in, right? So essentially,
they said, let's squeeze them. A short squeeze is a very popular Wall Street term. It's when stocks start to go up and all of a sudden these shorts get squeezed. They got to buy them back. They were thinking it was going from 40 to 20, and instead it went from 40 to 60. They're like, I'm fucking out. I don't want to do this anymore. Except that happened with 130% of the float. Right. And not all of them have covered. Right.
So that means not only are these Reddit people buying the stock, driving it up, but then these people that shorted it have to buy it, driving it up again.
Even
further. And everybody who is short.
Brilliant.
Puts in so let's say it's something you're not looking at. I got to be honest with you. Did you guys know what GameStop was? The ticker in GameStop was before today?
Did not know.
The GME? No fucking clue.
No fucking clue what the hell that was, right? So some people who are short this stock just put in protection orders to buy back, a buy stop it's called. So if you short a GME, you said, you know what, I'm going to buy it back. Shorted it at 40. I think this thing's coming in. When it comes into 20, I'll have an automated buy order to buy it back at 20. Maybe buy it back at the market. It hits 20. I'll buy it back wherever I can. Or maybe you want to stick to your guns and buy it back at 20. You just put that out there. So that's upside protection for you, even though the stock's coming down. When you go down, if it hits 20 and you didn't see it, you'd be like, what? I just took a dump and it hit 20 and I didn't do anything. So they'll put in what's called a buy stop. Conversely, they'll put in a bailout stop to the buy side. So now if your short position starts to go higher, right? That buy stop, you'll say, I want to buy it back at 20. But let's say this fucking thing goes the other way and it's trading at 80. Then what am I doing with that? I'll just put something in to buy it back. So when it starts to hit 80, those buy stops go off. And then they don't have it. They're market orders for the most part. So then they cause these gaps. There's an illiquidity problem in the market already because it's all dark pools. Nobody meets anybody like I used to do on the floor. We used to see each other, take my badge number and do all this stuff. Now it's all dark pools. There's no depth of market. There's no anything like that. So you don't even know where the liquidity lies. You don't know where anyone's got $1 million for sale or how much this guy's got to buy. So anyone who had their cards with stock for sale were like, I ain't fucking selling here. I want to see how high this thing goes. And everyone who had stock to buy was like, where is it? Let me get it. Let me get it. So the Wall Street Bets guys were purposely buying this thing, possibly sloppily. I don't give a fuck. I'm just buying it. And as they were doing it, they were triggering the short sellers to buy back their positions. On top of all that, there's a bunch of option positions that were created through this. And those option positions, as they're closing out, need to buy back stocks also.
Wow.
So you see this upward momentum happening.
And then
so
Elon
up 50%
Musk
on Friday,
Yeah.
up 16% on Monday, up 117% on Tuesday. You know what I mean? Then now
it's up 1,500% since
on the
January
year.
1.
So,
Yeah,
okay. So the big question is, how did the
It's
Redditors
fucking GameStop.
how did the Redditors become aware, right, that there was a ton of shorts on
you
Well,
see-
you can see it. It was public
Can you
knowledge.
see, but can you
He's
see
saying.
the buy stops? You can see the
No,
shorts. but
no. You know,
you can't see
enlisted stocks that trade on a stock exchange, you're able to see these stop orders. the stop orders did not mean as much as just the plain old covers, the option derived orders, or the retail buying. The only reason I mention that is if it's a listed stock, like trades on New York Stock Exchange versus in the NASDAQ, one person gets to see the stop orders. That's the specialist. That's what I was.
Oh,
I used to fucking rape people on their buy stops and sell stop orders. It was a license to steal, because if you put that shit in there, it was usually in a dire situation. If you put in there, like, remember I told you with the $20 stop? As soon as it traded at 20, which is like every dollar increment is always a big mental thing for a stock. Is this going to break 21? Oh, is it going to break 20? Oh, so at 20, people put their shit in. It only had to trade 100 shares at 20. And then this guy's 50,000 shares to buy gets activated.
So you can
if
see
there's nothing at 20,
you're Biff Tannen.
I would
you know when it's going to move. Yeah.
It trades at 20. Next trade, your 50,000 shares to buy comes in. I treat it as a market order. I print you at 21. I'll sell it to you because nobody has a fucking order out there. Everyone's terrified. I'm now short at 21. Next sell is 19 and a half, and I'm buying it back. That's a buck and a half for the big man.
Wow.
So essentially,
That's a buck and a half for the big guy.
Making that little margin there on the
these guys got
The
bones.
specialist.
that's not the problem here. Can you cut that? But that's not the problem. That they were coming at, and like Pat, because you're wondering who everyone's mad at. They're coming at places like Citron, who are telling bigger houses who cover this stock, who are saying, this is a piece of shit stock. Let's all just lean on it.
people who are overleaned on, yeah.
And everyone leaning on it is what they consider, Wall Street bets consider manipulation in itself. It's the big boys with the capital.
Breaking news while we're recording, they're back up. The Reddit's back up.
Okay, so Reddit's back. So it looked like it was a server issue. So they're against these big guys leaning on it, which in itself is illegal market manipulation. So they said, you know what? We're going to all get together. We're all at risk. There's nobody here who was guaranteed any kind of profit.
Right.
But since we're such a strong group with our Robinhood accounts, let's do some manipulation on our own.
So
and I know they have to cover these shorts.
So that took them by surprise. Essentially, like the people coming in and playing in the big boys game totally fucked them.
In en masse like that.
Robinhood app. Has Robinhood app changed the game completely large? I mean, is it like...
Well, yeah. So retail investment in general has changed. You know what changed the game? The market going from trading in eighth increments. Like, remember when you'd be...
partial shares. Yeah.
When you would trade a stock and Will would come in and be like, IBM, how is it? IBM is 83 and a quarter a half. What's offered at a half? 50,000 shares. Will says, take them, which means he just bought 50,000 shares at $0.50. Where's it offered now? And you know where it's offered? At 5/8, 12 cents higher. Now we don't trade in increments of $0.125 of a dollar. We don't trade in increments of $0.1/16 of a dollar. We don't trade in quarter. We trade in fractions of pennies. So there can be all these little bids kind of driving stuff up, which kind of fluff stock up on its own.
3 million Redditors. That's
exactly. 3 million Redditors
crowdsourcing the stock, yeah.
And so now where do we go next? Beeve's like, well, okay, I missed GME. What's the next big one?
I was driving.
What's the next one?
I was in the car.
Right.
Well, we've missed Penn, we've missed GME. We got Robinhood accounts at the exact wrong time after we missed everything.
Right. So right away you look at what's another dead stock that has a pretty big short interest, which is public information. And it seems like it has an okay management team, but people don't believe in it. People have been shitting all over it. You go to, what don't people go to anymore is movie theaters. So AMC was the next thing in their crosshair. So if you look at a stock like AMC, it went from 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. And you have the public, guys like Pat, right? My producer, Pat, say to me, Large, I missed the GME. I'm going to buy AMC because it's only trading at 20. I said, Pat, that's 10 times where it's trading 3 days ago. But share prices fuck people up. They're like, but I can buy more of that because it's only $20 a share. I could buy.
It doesn't really matter though. Any share, it's just valuation gain, and right.
So look at it from a valuation standpoint. Don't look at the share price. And obviously, you look at the share price because you always want to buy as many shares as you can. But if you don't have enough money to, it is what it is. But you're already buying something that's so overvalued
So
because when the bubble pipes,
Large, you're saying it was a mistake for me to put my entire account in AMC today.
No. I mean, so how about this?
You have to hope your boys hold. So Large, two questions. One is anything illegal going on here, or like is this going to stop for like she gets shut down under the like illegal
SEC.
causes or something, SEC or anything like that? And also to Will's point, it's like at some point they're making money on GME. These guys are making these young investors on Reddit. They're making money, but they don't have a ton of money probably. So how much money can they spread across all these? Like what's next? Like how many can they do before they run out of money and everyone starts bailing?
Well, if they can make money in every one of these, like there are people out there who put 50. They did 50 grand. They put 50 grand in, and they played it the right way, and they turned that 50 grand into like $2 million pretty quickly.
Wow.
Now they got $2 million to play around with, and then they can turn that $2 million and lose $1.5 million, still have 500,000 from the 50 that they had last Thursday. So it's creating wealth that they don't mind putting right back into the process. But keep in mind too, and this is what I think people lose track of. And if I'm talking too much, tell me because I'm starting to sweat.
No.
People are under the impression that the only ones that are getting rich on this are the guys who have Robinhood accounts.
No, right?
Not every big firm was short GME. There's a lot of big firms, and I know a guy who probably traded GameStop better than anybody I know. He traded the retailers for a long time. It's considered retail and not tech stock or anything. Traded retailers just as good, and it was a legitimate stock for a long time. GME was a great store to go to, was a great business plan. It was covered by every house on the street. He did. I had asked him his opinion on this. Like, I haven't traded that fucking stock in months. I haven't traded that stock in years, mate. You know what I mean? Like, so not every house was involved or every hedge fund was involved in this. Those who weren't were probably buying also.
Yeah,
right?
they took advantage.
I wonder where the money is to come to all of a sudden have a stock like Naked, which is $1 stock now, trade over 1 billion shares.
Well, Large, it was like I was mentioning. Elon Musk, he tweeted out game stonks, and that made it surge too. And
after the bell too, where it's less liquid. So Elon Musk is the king. Remember where he said he had he had funding for something, and he didn't have any
private. To go private, he was gonna go back private.
I didn't have any of it.
And he wanted to drive their price to $4.20 for weed. Yeah. He got in trouble a couple times.
Yeah, he's good at a lot of things. Tweeting's not one of them. So
the big question is then, Large. Okay, so today, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we saw 2 runs. Are there other short positions that are publicly available that Wall Street Bets can pounce on, or is the opportunity closed?
There are dozens, if not hundreds, for them to pounce on. And some of them are more attractive than others. And so these ones that I'm going to mention to you, you're going to be like, yeah, that's a stinker too. When was the last time you used a BlackBerry? That sticker BB. Oh, that's a stinker. I wouldn't touch BlackBerry. They will. And the only thing is BlackBerry doesn't have a huge short, but BlackBerry fits in that. When was the last time you went to a store called Express, brick and mortar? They love Express. So there's Nokia, you're kind of iPhones and shit like that. So Nokia and OK. There's all these different names.
What about silver? We saw something about silver being shorted. Is that is that bullshit, or is there anything true? Like
the silver, the metal?
Yeah.
I don't know. And the thing is, I've never really been not a fan. I don't care what people do, but I've never been. I never traded any kind of mineral or gold or anything like that. I've never been in a commodity pit.
We're seeing rumors left and right on the
KOSS went up like 670% today or something like that.
So yeah, and I don't have my Bloomberg thing up. Otherwise, I would have been awesome for this show today, as you guys would have known. I apologize.
Oh, you're great.
But it's
just text us all the insider information anyways.
Yes,
we don't want to get in trouble.
Screenshot it.
Yeah.
So Cost Company is an American company that designs and manufactures headphones. They're headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So perhaps they have they don't do anything shit compared to Beats or something. So today the stock had closed at $57. And a year ago today, the stock closed at $1.44.
Whoa!
I'll go a little bit. That's not fair. On January 4th, the stock closed at $3. So now it's at 58.
This year,
this year. So that's another one. So Koss, and I'm not familiar with it. CEO is Michael Koss, so he kept it close to the vest. So that could be just another one. And so my point is, if they look, you can find not only can you find the short interest in most stocks relatively up to date. right? They have to update them. I'm out of the game, so I don't know how often they have to update them. But quarterly, hedge funds, I believe it's quarterly, it might be biannually. Hedge funds also have to announce what their positions are, not just what they did for the quarter, not just where they are. And they have to say, by the way, these are my positions. And you can see
it's like a company, right?
Melvin has got, they're short 3 million shares of BlackBerry, COS, GME, and AMC, or something like that.
Sure.
So there are, if you want to go and look for targets, that wasn't the hard part of what Wall Street Bets did. The hard part was for them to have some charismatic leader, get them all together, stir up that bile, and get everyone to make a concerted effort to fucking jam one stock up.
Right.
I can't think of any. My wife's like, what should we do? And, she's got a fucking problem. I said, we can't touch this. First of all, I'm talking about it.
It's so risky.
I was like, it's not worth where it is, Annie. It's not worth it. So I can't conceptually buy it and rely on something to happen.
But this
She's
is
like,
going to keep going on.
I'm like, no, you don't short this. It could be a
people are betting on other people to hold the line.
Right, but this is going to keep going on though, because if they don't shut down, I mean, at least
that's
for
what I'm
a
saying.
little while.
Is it illegal? Could this get shut down?
The legality is what everyone's wondering, right? Because they've actually used terms like manipulation. Right. And manipulation is a great word if you're in a fucking massage parlor. It's not a great word if you're trading stocks. And so what they have in their favor is the SEC is very slow to move on this stuff.
Right.
Like they're very slow. When I was investigated, it took months, and that was a bullshit type thing. Exonerated of all stuff years later. As a matter of fact, when I got exonerated, I was on your show the next day. Remember, I told you guys. Remember, hey, I'm in a good mood. I'm out of this.
It was your old boss fucked you, right?
Yeah. And I had this thing hanging over my head for years. I had this fucking thing. So I know how slow they move. That's why when this Wall Street Bets got shut down, and again, I don't know if there's some new cyber team that sends in a drone and blows up your server. I don't know, but it just didn't seem like an SEC thing to me. And I think it might have been 3 million people crashing at once, just saying, fuck the suits.
More people wanting to squeeze shorts. Yeah.
But couldn't the billionaires do something about it? Like pay for someone to crash their server or something like that? I mean, the billionaires
get them all together now. So now we get them all together. And I just started Wall Street Loves. So I'm a rich guy, started Wall Street Loves, and I only get together 500,000 people because I don't need that many because we all have a lot of coin. And then we can do something that's called press the shorts. Press the short. So if all of a sudden this thing is trading at 135.5 and all these buyers come in, they're like, what's offered? And I'm talking about it like an open outcry market, just to make it easier. This is all done computer wise now. There's 50,000 shares offered at 135.5. Take them. And they take 50,000. Where is it offered now? And the specialist goes, it filled back in. There's 150,000 shares offered at a half. And they're like, oh, okay, take them. What's offered now? They actually ticked down a little bit, and the shorts followed it down. There's 250,000 shares offered down a nickel. You're losing a nickel on what you just bought at a half. What do you want to do? Take them. Where's it offered now? You just bought 250. It just ticked down a little bit. Now there's 500,000 offered at 40 cents. You're down a dime on the 500 grand that you just, you know what I'm saying? So that's pressing a short. Yeah. That's when you have a lot of shorts. And then you're pressing the buyers to be like, you really want to fucking buy this thing?
And that's going on real time.
I'll let you fucking sell this. And that's called pressing a short. And then squeezing a short is the exact opposite. Take them. And then you got to catch up. And so you're squeezing a motherfucker versus pressing. Listen, I'm going to have blood in my stool tonight just because it's bringing me back. I used to have a full head of hair, by the way. It was beautiful.
Oh yeah, the Robinhood app is going to age us quickly.
Lawrence, can the companies that like GameStop that like it was a shit stock and might have been going under, can this save them? Like, can they sell their, like their stock's worth 500 bucks a share? Can this activity actually save them from bankruptcy if they get rid of their shit?
Can they start a new business model now? Can they
can they pop it and can they pop it potentially if they
well that's the only thing. Like that guy from Chewy who we mentioned before, right? The guy from Chewy, I think he got 9 million shares at $17 when he signed on to the company.
What deal? He's a billionaire.
You know what he has said now that the stock's trading at 300 a couple of weeks later? Nothing. And he shouldn't say anything because he's not responsible for it. Like if he goes out there and says, listen, our company is not worth this, then that's not a good thing. And if he
Right.
goes
Yeah,
out
he's
there
gotta
and
ride
says
it out.
our company is worth this, that might be even worse.
Sure.
So you have to be. In my opinion, I would really be. And the unfortunate thing about it is, you talk about these nominal amounts and whatnot. I'm sure he got that 9 million shares with a 3-year vest. He can sell 3 million a year from now,
Right.
3 million a year from now, 3 million. So he's like,
Yeah.
I'm very rich now, but I can't sell a share.
Right.
I legally, it won't go through.
To Wes's point, like the original owners of GameStop and stuff, can they liquidate some of their shares and
Absolutely.
maybe make their stores look fucking prettier?
Right.
Like put it
What
back
about the
into
company?
business.
What about the company? Company owns shares.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Company-
saying. Can the company
make
say
GameStop
Company
better?
owns shares in itself.
Yeah.
There's nothing saying that if a stock is up 1,700% that you're not allowed to sell shares.
They probably made a
Right.
lot of cash on that.
Absolutely. Maybe they'll use it to pay down debt. Maybe they already have too much debt. And by the way, that's another thing they're looking for. Big short positions, dead business models that may have a pandemic stink on them, and also companies that are laden with debt. They like these companies. I mean, everything that screams to everybody else, stay away. That's where these guys are going. So
The short
there's a
squeeze
ton of
army.
them out there.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So to answer your question, as far as the company goes, there's a lot of people who worked at GameStop and had stock in that company, just like we have stock in Penn or anything like that, who are doing very well with this. And those are the guys that I feel happy for. But there are a lot of these guys who are coming to the party late, who are sharpening pitchforks, and they're just going in one time. I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to buy 5 shares at $300. That's $1,500. That's all I fucking have. And then that $300 doesn't hold.
Right.
The 170 holds, but they lost $130 a share.
Right.
And then they're fucking. That's not a suit. Like, so when we're talking about casualties here, and when we're talking about people who are making money off of it, it's not cut and dry. The suits aren't on the minus side, and the keyboard warriors aren't on the plus side.
That's like saying that a casino is at fault for being open, kind of.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying the
It's not all
narrative
people
that's
winning.
being creative.
Yeah.
Narrative that's being creative is a narrative that's not mentioning the innocent bystanders.
Some people are bankrupting themselves because they got in too late, and they're I'm putting my entire life savings into GameStop, GME, and they got in at 380, and now it's down to 280, and they're fucked.
Got in at 380.
Crazy. Large, does this change the way hedge funds are going to have to work, knowing that this mass amount of people can have figured out how to do this?
Let's see what happens to them. Like, let's see if the SEC does something. Let's see if somebody gets in trouble. Let's see if somebody's licenses get taken away. I don't know what the punishments are. And let's see if 350 goes back down to 20 as quickly as 20 went up to 350. Because then that'll show, hey, listen, this makes sense for a week. We can do this for a week, and then afterwards, no matter how much you sound great on Reddit or wherever it is, people just don't have the money to keep it up there, and they needed a source of funds, so they had to get out. Because I'm telling you, it'll turn around at some point. Like, we won't retire with GameStop being worth more than Tesla, which it's not. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't going to be the case, or at least I don't think it is. Yeah. So when it does, let's see how violent that is. Wall Street always bets on the future. What does the future hold for this? It's a wild ride. I have no fucking clue.
I gotta get in on the next one, Large. I gotta get in on the
We're
next
gonna
one.
bring you back, Large, to talk about. We're gonna bring you back to talk about the next one, Large.
Yeah,
we gotta get going. Hey, where can people find you right now? What's going on with?
I'm in the office. My office at home. And then I'm gonna go to bed in a little while.
No, I'm saying, like, where can people find you? Because what's happened with Sirius? Do you know? With
Oh yeah, so we don't know. So Barstool Breakfast, their official last day is Friday. So tomorrow will be our official last day. Last Gentleman's Friday. Wah, wah. So we might do a Gentleman's Friday on YouTube every week. Just do like something visual. People like that. And then whatever the next platform is, Willie and I still want to do some stuff together. That's not true for every one of the radio shows that's on the dial. Right. Sure. I know Dan is going to do something on Yak with Pick Central because they have to have like a betting thing up there. And then what we're going to do still remains to be seen. So we'll probably be in the wind for a little while. And then what we do is what we do. But I think Willie and I, we don't have an opportunity anymore. Like Beats and Eats was canceled because of all the pandemic shit and whatnot. And so we need something where we're together. So we're going to try and keep something like that.
Well, let us know what it is. We'll get,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I can't do Willie's going deep because I'm not a football guy. He doesn't do Twisted History. Do you know what I mean? The Twisted History is sex toys. I was like, you want to come on? He's like, fuck yourself. I was like, what happened to bet?
We're gonna win all this money in this. We're gonna squeeze them out, and then we're gonna fucking buy Sirius. So.
You think you're a nervous short seller if you're if a hedge fund tomorrow across the board?
Yes.
Now that Beav is going to go in and say, Siri, show me the biggest short interests in stocks that are that have more than whatever debt. And then Siri pops up and he's like,
show me the worst stock you can find, Siri.
And I'll buy it. Imagine that being your thing. Like every stock I mentioned to you, you're like, ooh,
junk stock.
Yeah, United Asbestos. You know what I mean? Look at lobster kids. But anyway. All righty, boys. Is that it?
Thank you, Large.
Yeah, thank you,
Good
Large.
talking to you.
Have a good one. All right. I mean, look. Everything Large said means I think I'm going to keep playing the stocks, right?
I'm holding.
You guys agree? Holding.
Yeah, it's time to dig in. If anything, that's what I heard.
He mentioned a lot of A+ stocks that we're in. Yeah, so
some winners in that list he gave us.
Pat, you got Robinhood now too. You're
I'm
joining.
in, baby. I'm in. I couldn't give you the. I signed up for an account a while ago, so it's not going to give you the referral, unfortunately, Mark. But I'm in. I'm in. So today I'm riding with you, boys.
Anyone in the Hive that wants to get a referral code and get a free stock from me or any one of the boys and give themselves a free stock, hit us up. But most importantly, have a great fucking day.